Dear students, today we are going to discuss about designing various topologies using Cisco Packet Tracer, and already we completed bus topology and how it is working. So what are the major technical part which we have to consider for bus topology? So the advantages and disadvantages of bus topology we completed in the previous video. Today we are going to discuss about the second topology, which is called as ring topology. In the ring topology, I created totally 6 nodes. So 6 nodes, it's a start from that is PC number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 6, and the IP address it's set for each node. It's a start from that 192.168.1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And to connect the each PC, I used switches. So here the same bus topology, in that the same IP address what we used, the same IP address I used for ring topology and all other remaining types. So the reason is, just you can easily remember that it's what kind of that IP address we set for each time. We no need to create any confusion over the IP address. So that's the reason I use the same IP address. In case if you want to use different IP address, you can use as per your wish. There is no restriction. Compulsory we have to start with 192.168.1.1. You can use any IP address, and here just I used, for your reference, I used that 192.168.1.1 for all the types, right? So the next thing what we have to consider in that network structure, when we are connecting the switches, we have to use that is copper crossover line. So this is the things which we need to remember, that when we are connecting the switches, we have to use the copper crossover, and when we are connecting with PC with the switch, we have to use copper straight line through. So we always not depend on the automatic connection type. Sometimes it may not suitable for such kind of some network connections. So you have to understand that based on the network structure, what kind of cable we are using. In case if you are not supposed to use automatic connection type, definitely we have to understand what type of cable which we have to use for our network connection. So here when we are connecting with switches, we have to use copper crossover, and when we are connecting with the PC with switch, here I used copper straight through. So how can we differentiate that? So the dotted lines, it's a copper crossover, and the straight line, it's a copper straight through, right? So the next one, so in the switches, we can also call it as the name which is called as terminator or repeaters. So when we are studying in the technical aspects, they mentioned that the number of repeaters used in the ring topology. So the repeaters is nothing but, so the connecting device or the switch or the hub, it is called as terminators or repeaters, right? So already in the previous lecture, I explained clearly how to set that IP address and how to change the name of each PC. So everything, as you know very well. And coming to the technical aspect of ring topology, here what are the technical things we have to understand, that is a ring topology. Each the switch or each PC, it will be connected with 2 neighboring nodes. What it mean? So here For example, node 1, it's connected with node 2 and node 6. So it's a two neighboring nodes, and you take any node, that node it's connected with two neighboring nodes from, that is a forward and backward. And it's a ring topology. The word itself, we can understand that. So it is a circular path. So whenever we are trying to send the data it move from in that circular way, right? Now it's coming to the part of ring topology. For example, if I try to send the data from node 1 to node 4. So here, if the node 1 try to send the data in unidirectional way. So we are having two types of the data flow in ring topology. If your ring topology is unidirectional or bidirectional. So if it is unidirectional, that the data it transfer from only one direction. So for example, either node 1 it try to send the data to node 4. Here node 1 it reaches to switch 2, then switch that is here this is the number is 12, 13, 14, and it comes to node 4. And the same way the acknowledgement it sent back to node 1. Or else if the node 1 choose the another path, for example that switch 7 and it comes to switch 28, 27 and come to 14, and finally it reaches to node 4. Even you can change the, in case if you are confusing the switch number is default, you can change the name of your switch. As per our convenient, we can make it the changes in the network connection. Now coming to that part, if the data is transferred in unidirectional way, so only one direction the data is transferred from any node. If it is bidirectional way, the data is transferred both direction. So for example, that node 1 send the data to, for example, node 5. So in case if it is unidirection, so it come to this way. So 17, switch 17, 28, 27, it's only, the short time it will reach the node number 5. If it is chosen this path, it takes a long time to get the data, and again the processing time is also high, and the waiting time, it's everything, it's high compared to this that is the shortest path. So if the same thing is happen in that bidirectional way, the data is transferred in both direction and it's immediately reached to node number 5 and it comes to node number 1. So there are two things we have to consider in ring topology. So first one, each node it's connected with the two other neighboring nodes. So second thing, here either the data flow it's unidirectional way or the bidirectional way. So if it is unidirectional way, it takes long time to reach the destination. If it is bidirectional way, the data it reach in the shortest time. Okay. Now coming to the advantages of ring topology. So the advantages of ring topology, it's compared to this that is bus topology, other types, that network collision is low. That's the important part here. So how the network collision is low? In the previous video we discussed about the bus topology. Bus topology, it's the network collision is high. So the reason is we are using the common cable to transmit the data to all the remaining nodes. So if station 4, station 6, station 5, so all the nodes it's try to send the data, it's only one cable it's supporting, and only one the cable it depends on all the remaining nodes. So definitely the network collision or network traffic is high. The same way when we compare with the bus topology, here ring topology, we have that two directional way we can transmit the data, and at the same time it may not create too much collisions over the network. So we have network collision, but compared to this bus topology, it's the network collision is low. That's the important part here. Now the second advantages of ring topology. So whatever the design we are creating, so we can easily create that network structure and we can easily install and expand as much as possible. So what it means? So here I used that is 6 different nodes. If I try to insert 2 more nodes, that network structure, we no need to remember anything, we no need to memorize anything. So simply just each switch, each PC is connected with switch, and as much as possible if you are expanding the connections, we can simply and in easy way we can create the network structure. There is no complexity over here. Just simply we can expand this connection without any prior knowledge. So that's the advantages of ring topology. So network collision is low and it's easy to install and easy to expand our network structure. And coming to the disadvantages of ring topology, here the ring topology is also, it's difficult to troubleshoot the problem. So if any of the data is lost, any of the data is not properly reached to the destination, it's the troubleshooting of the data, it's really difficult in network topology. So what it means? How can we say that the troubleshooting is difficult? So in case, if for example node 1 try to send the data to, for example, node 5. Here node 1 chosen the path is node 2, 3, 4 and 5. If any of the data is not reached to node 5, we have to check all the remaining nodes where the data is lost. Whether the data is lost in the node 2 itself, or here it come to the node 3 or node 4. So node 3, node 4, which means that the switch, I am saying that the switch. We have to check each and every point where our data is lost. So then only we can find out that why node 5 is not reached the exact data. So think about that, this is the only 6 nodes we connected here. So if we are connecting the 1000 nodes, so around 1000 nodes, if you try to send the data from node 1 to node, for example, 700. So it's really complicated and we cannot find the data where it lost. We have to check all the remaining 699 nodes. And it's really difficult to get back or to retrieve our original data. So that's the reason it's the troubleshooting is also very, very difficult in ring topology. So without checking that the node number 1 to 699, we may not sure about that in which the switch is lost the data, in where our data is lost due to some reason. And it's coming to that the another disadvantages of ring topology. So here, whatever already I said that it's one of the advantages, it's easily we can expand and we can install that ring topology. And the same thing, it's also in part of disadvantages. What it mean? So in case if you try to insert 2 more new nodes in this network structure, is definitely the remaining the network structure it will disturb. It's not only for the insertion. In case of insertion of new node into the ring topology, or the deletion or the removal of any node from the ring topology, it's also difficult and it's disturb the entire network structure. So what it means? So for example, here in node 4, I try to insert two more nodes. So definitely I have to disconnect these two connection and I need to create new connection and insert the new connection with the help of new IP address. And already any of the data is transferred from this network cable, definitely it will disturb the entire structure. So the insertion or the deletion of new node in the ring topology, it's also disturb the entire network. And coming to the next disadvantages of ring topology, it's compared to the other remaining topologies, it's less secured. So when we are taking the security concern, here the ring topology is also less secure to transmit the data. So this is the major point we have to consider for ring topology. So what are the things we have to remember? Each node is connected with two other neighboring nodes, and we are using the number of repeaters is also high. And coming to the advantages of ring topology, it's less network collision and we can easy to install and expand the network structure. Coming to the disadvantages of ring topology, troubleshooting is difficult and the insertion and removal of the new node, it disturbs the remaining networks and it's less secure compared to the other topologies. Okay. Now I will show you how the data is transferred. Just I am going to place a message from node 1 to node 3. So it shows that it's in progress. Okay, now it's a successful. Now I try to send one more message from node 6 to node 2. Okay, it's again successful. So here the orange color mark, it's not yet configured. So sometimes when we are creating the network structure, so if the network structure is not yet configured, it may shows that the orange color. So if it is red color, definitely we cannot send any data and it may be failed. The orange color, so in it after some time it may be changed as green color. So that's the reason, no need to worry about that orange color. It's may not it may transfer the data, but it takes some time to configure itself, right? And so here for example I try to send the data from node 5 to node 1. Okay, it's again successful. So for example, in what way the data is transferred, either unidirectional way or bidirectional way, just I show you in the simulation window. Already I created 3 messages. Okay, the node 1, 6 and 5 transmit the data. So all the data it's go to this direction. Here the reason is it's not yet configured. Oh, that's the reason the node 5 is not chosen this way. So all the 3 data, it reaches to the respective, right? So all the 3 messages, it's successful. So it reaches to the respective destination and the acknowledgement sent back to the respective node. Okay, I hope you can understand what is ring topology, how it is working, and what are the major things which we have to consider for ring topology. Thanks for watching. Thank you all.